All right, welcome to another NSL talk, live NSL talk session in the NSL office. And I welcome JaNette and Steve Lefkowitz, STC Rhythm XP members. Thank you for making the trip. How is your winter home in Florida?
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, it's nice to be here and maybe a little bit good to hear about how cold it is in Chicago.
It's been pretty cold here too, don't
It
you?
is. Well, but it doesn't compare to the warmest days in Chicago these times, though.
Yeah.
We had like 2 or 3 nights of freezing below. I mean, freezing point, below freezing point. But you were you already here by then when we had those?
We were actually at the tunnel in North Carolina. So.
I was cozy and
Cold
warm
there,
there.
Yeah,
It was cold there.
Was it?
Yeah. Actually, I rode a friend's bike in the morning when it was like freezing to get to the tunnel, and that was cold.
Well, I guess you're lucky that there's no training at the moment, at least, right? When does training begin? Outdoor training in Sebastian?
January 14th, I think.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, I think it was almost exactly a little more than a year ago, because it was at Becker's Boogie Boogie, I believe.
Yeah.
That's right.
We were in Sebastian, and the season had not begun yet.
Right.
Really? We had all the events still ahead of us. Now here we are, end of the first full-time season after 7 competitions this year. Congratulations, you're the team of the year.
Yeah, we read that. We learned that from your previous article. Thank you.
Busiest team of the year. So how was it? How was your first year as full-time skydivers, competitors?
It was a great year. We, as far as the team side goes, it was a great year with the team, a great team. We got along really well. The training went really well, both at Sebastian and Skydive Chicago, as well as Paraclete. Everything that we had kind of been working towards kind of all came together this year in training-wise, and we met our goal, and we were really happy, and we just had a great year, a really nice time. And then on the organizing and promoting events and things like that was also a lot of fun and really successful. With we had an 8-way player coach project, and Steve had a 4-way player coach project, and we did a bunch of events at Skydive Chicago, and then we've been doing more and more events, and it's just a bunch of tunnel camps too at Paraclete, and it's growing and exciting to see what we're going to do next year too. So.
And there's more to come, right? We may speak a little bit about this later on.
And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So you're enjoying all aspects of it. It's not only full-time competition and training and all that. There's way more behind that. Obviously.
Everything between the training and having more and more challenging and fun team skydives, and the organizing of the organizing coaching, and then just making better friends with the people at Skydive Chicago and living there is awesome, and then the same with Sebastian, and then this second year of coming back to Sebastian, and now knowing people so much better, it's great. It's like we kind of have 2 families, in Chicago and in Sebastian, and it's just the quality of life is awesome.
Well, we're glad to have you down here in the winter, because you are ready to increase your activities in the south here too, and again we may talk about this a little bit more. When you came into the office, you were just studying the Shamrock Showdown scoreboard, which is still out there from March this year.
Unfortunately, remembering the things that I did wrong. I remember that.
That was the first meet last year. It was your first meet last year.
That's right. It was actually about a week after the Bedford.
No,
wasn't it?
It was the first year where it was the other way around. We had first the Shamrock and then Bedford. And you mentioned a 17.5 average or something in March.
Yeah.
And we finished at the US Nationals with a
20.5.
20.5 average.
And that's probably, I mean, that's pretty much where we were at, you know, I mean, that's 17.5, you know.
Yeah.
That's a quite dramatic increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there's not really a big secret to it, you know, and people ask us, I mean, we train a lot, think about it all the time, get along very well, you know, and get great coaching. All that kind of works.
So now here we are. I remember a remark that you made the other day, and I want to pick this up. The NSL News picked it up already a little bit, but you are really excited about the perspective of going into a new competition season with the same lineup.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's the first time that all of us, the four competitors with Jason, the videographer, are back together. And that's what an exciting thing to be able to start from where we left off. You know, every year we've progressed, and every year I'm very happy with how much we've progressed. But every year we had to take a step back to progress in getting a new teammate. You know, and the fact that we're all together now, it's awesome. And what a advantage. You know,
right. The NSL News kept track of your numbers. I saw the chart yesterday, which is has a good progression. Now you are already in. You were in 5th place, I guess, at the nationals, and you're going into the next year with the experiences of a full-time situation right now.
Yes.
With the same lineup and so forth. Where to go from here?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it difficult to find the right goals, realistic goals, or where's rhythm going from here?
I don't think so. You want to get better. You want it to be achievable, but challenging. And so, you know, among the things we want to medal. I mean, we came in 5th. Who wants to shoot for 4th at the end of that, right?
Who wants to shoot for 4th?
You know.
Good thing to say.
And then certain scoring averages. You know, if we were at 20.5, we want to certainly do significantly better than that this coming year, and we'll have to.
So, what do you smell, or if you've been now at a 20.5 average, you've been in a tunnel with a 26 average, probably, I guess 25 or something. What can you see already by now? If you see, you know, you're not at the potential. If you take your good jumps now that you had this year, and what can you already see by now? You know, without even bringing up the potential.
You know, I mean, I think we performed really well for ourselves at the meet nationals. Maybe when you talk about sort of doing your best round every round, there's obviously room there, but I also think that that's not exactly how it goes, right? I mean, but I guess you're saying as a measure of potential.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think of our measure of potential as
unlimited.
We'll anyway.
30 average.
At least for now, there's no reason to put it.
Yeah.
You know, so exactly the numbers, I don't know, but you know, I think growing comparably to what we did. I mean, if you take 17.5 to 20.5, that was a big growth. 20.5 to 23.5 would be a very, very big jump in 1 year. Maybe that's.
But I'd take it.
But yeah, why not?
You're one of the youngest top teams in the USA ever, probably. On this level right now. You're working at the same time with one of the most experienced competitors and coaches in the sport, Kirk Werner. I guess you will continue working with him.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
So what does he say? I mean, he has seen it all. Where does he try to guide you to or push you to?
Honestly, I don't know that. I don't know that it needs to be that specific. I guess what I'm getting at is I think most of the top coaches that we worked with, between Kirk and Thomas and any of the other people that we've spoken with, do kind of emphasize the idea of not to focus too much on the numbers. And instead focus on the opportunities for improvement, you know, specific areas for improvement, and allow that to see where that takes us, you know. So.
And what is that? Is there anything specific already that you can define somehow? It's difficult to define that, but what is it? Something general? Is it all very detail oriented?
Well, it depends. I guess it's both ways. We'll look at the whole season and come up with general things that we know we need to do, and then when we're training in a camp, we'll have very specific things, very specific blocks or exits or things like that we need to fix.
So it is very
certainly still there's opportunity on the exit and hill, you know, big opportunity there. I think still B slot stuff. kind of like everyone, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And then certain blocks that I just know are not as strong as others, always thought 11s and 12s. And
So it is quite detail oriented. There's not even a point in sight yet where you would have to work on certain basics to lift the potential up to. So we're going to work through this. I know we actually said we have to limit this to 10 minutes because the NSL is going back to YouTube now. But we're going to break it up because I find it interesting enough. So we should just go through it and chat a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think too, when you talk about like goals and stuff like that, and having numbers is great, but one of the things that I've been proudest of with Rhythm up until now and continue to be is, and something that Kirk talks about and we got from Cromie in the very beginning, is setting an aggressive plan and sticking to it and not discounting. It's difficult to get 4 people to do as much training as we want to in a year, and that's something that at the end of the year, if we complete the number of jumps and the number of training days successfully and efficiently, and then we're proud of that and happy of that, and the numbers kind of follow, So
yeah, absolutely.
So
what are you
talk
planning
about
for
goals.
this year?
We've got 104 days of training on the schedule, not counting meets, and then I think we're talking about somewhere between 750 and 850 jumps and around 15 hours of tunnel time.
Outdoor jumps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That's a lot. That's
more
good.
jumps and more training days than even the previous year, which was more than the year before that, and so forth.
Yeah.
More meets too. I know. I had Thomas and Nick Way just a few days ago,
Yeah.
and I was actually quite impressed. That they are pretty meet intensive this year.
Yeah.
I guess because of new and so forth. And
Yeah. We're planning on all the big meets: Shamrock, the Bedford, Battle at Midway,
The Paraclete.
Paraclete, Tunnel Meet, and Nationals. And then we're talking about being more involved in other capacities on the MWSL side.
Right. As player coaches and
coaches and things like that. And then we'll see what else on the FSL side works out.
FSL begins later usually. I mean, you probably already moved. Well, maybe not March,
Last
April.
year we did
earlier,
one.
When are you
we did
moving
it.
up again? Do you know? already?
May.
In May.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have you here at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
at least in Florida.
Yep.
A trade-off
So-
between the sort of population that's got up Chicago and the winds. You know what I mean? So
That
does
time of the year.
the wind come down enough and the people go up enough compared to Sebastian.
Yeah.
I see.
You know what I mean? Tells
But
us
you're
what
closer
we
to
got.
the coastline actually in Sebastian's. There is, if you stay too long, the hurricanes are coming in.
right. Yeah. So yeah, it's very exciting. I think it's very exciting to have the same people.
If I go back, it's my job to to push a little bit, challenge, tease, provoke a little bit. If we go back to goals, I said you cannot aim at a 4th place. That's would be kind of strange.
Yeah.
So if you're aiming at the 3rd place, well, names that pop up in my head right away, or in your head, is like Gold Knights, in the Airspeed lineup, and Paraclete and
Yes.
Paris Fury. Of course, first of all.
Yeah.
So you would pretty much go up against the same teams that you were competing with for
Seems like
bronze
that.
medal last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We covered that.
Yeah.
I divided up actually
Yeah.
one race for the gold medal and then another one for the bronze medal.
And we know we have catching up to do, so our plan is to work harder.
Yeah.
So what did they score actually? XP4 and Gold Knights.
XP4
We're
did
talking about the
21.
competition now. We
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
talked
Yeah.
enough about.
XP4
They did
a
21 too.
Yeah, and then the Knights did a 22.
Well, that is
Yeah.
actually, that should be very much in reach.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, you would probably be disappointed if you wouldn't get to
Sure.
that point, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we follow
they
the
know we're on
progression
the
chart, then we know actually
That's
there's
right.
Yeah.
somehow there is hard data, where you're aiming at more or less, even as
Yeah.
potential rising up, and we'll
Sure.
be happy. But there's kind of hard data, I guess. 22 average will be necessary for bronze
Yeah,
medal
I think
at least.
Yes.
probably,
Yeah, we
at
think
least
that.
that's what got it this year. So.
We think that, and so yeah, our
Something-
expectations have to be somewhere in line with that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not that far away. I guess with
Yeah.
750, 800 jumps. And
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
let's talk about the competition a little bit. XP4 is switching slots,
Mhm.
all of them. So
Mhm.
how much do you think will that have an effect on where the team is and whether is it? You're
I don't
familiar
know.
with them very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny's gonna go to point, right? And he's an awesome point. So
His
that's not an
experience
issue at
there,
all. Yeah, and
And
for
Andy certainly
John
has
to be an
experience
outside
with that.
center, I don't think it should be too huge of a move.
John
considering-
is outside center. I thought
Yeah.
he goes to tail.
No, he's outside center.
Oh, so I had that wrong actually. In the,
Yeah.
So who is tail then?
Andy.
Andy.
Andy is going.
And
You
he's
know.
got experience there, so that also,
Yeah,
I think.
and then Kurt can do anything. So
Okay, so they do split up the pieces actually. And
Mhm.
Yes.
they
Yeah,
change the
yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
So
That's right.
what's the impact of changing the pieces?
I guess it depends on the people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought about that
Mhm.
with our team as well. How the two of us have so much time together, But I don't know. I just think for those guys, they have just so much experience and experience working with different, going through this same thing, right? And I'm confident that they could do. They're going to do great,
John and Johnny
Working through
in
that.
the front piece.
Yeah.
And the old airspeed connection in the rear piece.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah.
thanks for the information. I have to write an update on that.
Yeah.
All right, and then the other team in this competition was
The Knights.
Golden Knights.
Yeah. It sounds like they're going to be working harder this year.
They put more in. They say they will
Yeah.
put a little bit more
Yeah.
forward in there.
So they're awesome. So this is not going to be an easy goal to meet.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an easy goal to meet. But if it was, it wouldn't be worthwhile, right?
Do you think you will be able to get closer? This three-way will it be closer to Fury and Airspeed that we all expecting probably on on this duel again for the top, or
Yeah.
do you think they will keep that distance that they have so far to the bronze medalists?
I don't know. I mean, I think realistically, we were talking about this earlier, that Airspeed is awesome. They're still a first-year team together, and that's got to take some time to work through. So to expect them to move far beyond what they were last year is a lot.
In 1 year.
In one year, yeah, given time together, no doubt, I think, really. But by 2011 nationals, that's a really big, call.
Oh, the Shamrock will be exciting.
It is.
It's going to be. We
Yeah.
see the first scores.
And the
actually,
French there.
Well, the Paraclete first. Yeah, we have the French team here, so everything
Yeah.
will be put into proportion somehow already.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
first outdoor meet. Now we have this indoor meet at Paraclete, and then watching. So it will be exciting to see actually. What's happening at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We have to get to an end now slowly anyway, unless we want to break it up in 3 parts. You will be active here in Florida as it looks. You will bring your experience and your projects that you have already been running at other places.
Yeah.
And we will work together with this a little bit more probably too, and we look forward to have more activities here. What kind of, can you explain it in a nutshell actually
Sure.
what it is that you are doing and bringing?
Sure. Well, right now, definitely planned. We have a lot of stuff going on at Sebastian. We're organizing for the Invasion. We're organizing for Becca's Booty Boogie. We're organizing for their March
Sanchez Boogie.
Madness. Sanchez Boogie. And then we also have our own Team for a Day events where you sign up and you come and you train with one of us just for the day, day of four-way training, kind of just the same format that we use to train. It's a lot of fun and you learn a lot.
And sorry, just with that, for the first time, we've got, not for the first time maybe, but even more so this year, we've had people actually flying in just for that weekend to do this type of stuff.
You are still, I'm sure you're considering yourselves a kind of young skydivers, as of
Absolutely.
time in the sport, experience and so forth. It must be encouraging or very interesting for beginner skydivers, more on the grassroots level, to see that there are also, there are young competitors or skydivers, and they came up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
A
that
lot
should
of
be
times people
inspiring for
ask-
them, I guess.
I think so. I mean, people ask, when did you start jumping? I tell them
They ask you those
2005.
questions.
Yeah, and usually like, oh wow, it doesn't
Yeah.
maybe take that long,
So we're trying to, mobilize the bases now, or if you can say so, or inspire them, to come out and try that, because you're addicted now. You change full time and so forth.
Yeah. And
MIT, oh, what's MIT now?
Yeah.
We're going wild now.
Don't show this to my parents.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Lefkowitz. All right.
There's also the sort of, we have, I mean, along the spectrum of the amount of effort one might want to put into it, between the team for a day, where you're committing to nothing more than a day, but of good, concentrated learning about FS skydiving, all the way to the team for a season, player coach team. So we got a 4-way and 8-way. I think it's sort of, it should be the kind of thing that whether you have no experience and just want to get your toe in,
right,
or have experience but having trouble perhaps finding a group, or not having trouble but just want to do more, there should be kind of something for everyone, I think.
Right. Maybe we should make that clear for once.
Yeah.
The team is not necessarily 1,000 jumps per year and
true.
Yeah,
$10,000 per year. It can be
Yeah.
just for one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For a little money.
A lot of people
Or
talk
even-
with us about that, and they say, well, I'm interested in doing this, but I don't want to commit to that much. And when we tell them, you know, for even our teams, you're talking about 5 or 6 weekends, you know, of an entire summer, which anyone who really is sort of a skydive
Right.
hobbyist finds 5 or 6 weekends over the course of a summer to do it, you know. So it's not that much, you know, and that's ours. I mean, you could do less and still
Right.
have a great time. JaNette's first season,
My first
what'd
3
you do?
seasons.
You did just
we
the
did
meets.
Just the meets, just the NSL meets. So
That's
one
what
was-
I do now.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and,
So it's a
and
40
honestly,
jump
I think that was
season?
the only thing that kept me in the sport long enough to wait for him to get in the sport so we could do this.
Yeah. I still consider myself a team jumper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Even though I make 1 day per month. You
Yeah,
can-
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
All right.
It was a lot of fun.
Okay, well, that was great, JaNette, Steve. Thank you very much for updating us all on rhythm plans this year, and good luck.
Thank
with
you.
everything.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.